Alright guys, here's the review to your section 2 1 to 2 4 test. The first 4 problems essentially were determining whether the graph is a function, and then if it's a function, is it 1 to 1. So if something's a function, it passes the vertical line test. So the first one is a function. The second one is a function. If it passes the vertical line test, then we do the horizontal line test. Here it intersects the graph at 2 spots, so it's not 1 to 1. But here it would only intersect the graph at 1 spot, so therefore it is a 1 to 1 function. So the first one is yes for a function, but no for a 1 to 1. So yes for a function, but no for a 1 to 1 function. And then here it is yes for a function, and it also passes the horizontal line test, so it's also a 1 to 1 function. As I scroll down here, I have a vertical line. So if you look at that vertical line, if I draw a line over it, obviously it intersects at infinite points. So this is not a function, and since it's not a function, it's not a 1 to 1 function. If it's not a function, don't waste your time testing it for 1 to 1. And the last one, the last one obviously intersects the graph at more than 1 spot, so it's not a function. And even though it would pass the horizontal line test, it does not matter. Once it's not a function, it cannot be 1 to 1. Alright, evaluating functions. When you're given a number such as this, we're literally just plugging the number in. So it becomes 3/2 squared plus 7. We do order of operations. 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 7. And we get an answer of 19. Here, we're plugging in -4 wherever we see x, cubed in this case, plus 8 times -4 minus 3. -4 cubed is -64. 8 times -4 is -32 minus 3. -64 minus 32 is -96 minus 3. We get -99 as our answer. When you're given an expression such as this, you have to put the expression in wherever you see x. So it becomes x plus 3 squared plus 3 times x plus 3 minus 7. And I'm going to do it off to the side, but the x plus 3 squared has to be FOILed out. So x plus 3 quantity squared has to be x plus 3 times x plus 3. And now when I FOIL that, x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. So we get x squared, and we combine the middle terms, we get plus 6x plus 9. So that's what I'm putting it up here. X squared plus 6x plus 9, and then it's plus 3x plus 9 when we distribute the 3, and then minus 7. And now we're going to combine like terms. X squared, 6x and 3x is 9x. Fix that. And then 99 is 18. 18 minus 7 is 11. And there's my answer, x squared plus 9x plus 11. And notice down here, here is where I go through the binomial squared and how you write that out and FOIL it. Find the slope between 2 points. Once again, my advice, put the points one on top of the other. And then what I would do is I would literally draw the fraction bar and the 2 minus signs. 5 minus 1, -4 minus 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. And then we always want to move that negative in front of the fraction. My slope being negative 4 over 7. Here I'm going to put the points one on top of the other. Negative 5, 4. Negative 1, negative 6. And right away we put our fraction bar in and our two minus signs. And then it becomes 4 minus a negative 6 over negative 5 minus a negative 1. 4 minus a negative 6 is 10. Negative 5 minus a negative 1 is negative 4. And then that reduces to negative 5 halves. And I'm once again going to put that negative sign in front of the fraction. In terms of finding the slope of a line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find two spots where that line goes right over something. Okay, and that's really your best bet here. So I'm going to take right here and right here. This line is going up and to the right. It's going up 3 over 2. Up 3, and you can do it again just to make sure you're right. But this slope right here, oops, would be 3 over 2. And it's positive because you're going up and to the right or down and to the left. As I come to the bottom one here, I'm going to try and go through an exact point on my line. Okay, so when we do that, let's start with left 3, down 1. Left 3, down 1. Left 3, down 1. So I'm going to say this slope is negative 1/3. Just picking a point on the line and then going to another exact point as best I can. Since we're going down and to the right, the slope is negative. These lines, I go to where x equals 2 on the graph, I would say here. And an x equals 2 line is a vertical line. Try and put the arrows so we know that it goes to infinity. Y equals negative 3, I'm going to negative 3 on my y-axis. And then draw a horizontal line right through it. And we should be able to graph x equals and y equals lines. Finding the equation of a line in standard in y-intercept form, y equals, in this case, 3/4 x minus 2. That's one of your answers. That's the y-intercept answer. Now I take that y-intercept answer and I multiply everything by the denominator. So we end up with 4y equals 3x minus 8. We want to subtract 3x on both sides. And then remember, I need no fractions. I need the x and y's on the same side. But I also need the x to be positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything in this equation of a line by a negative 1. So this becomes 3x minus 4y equals 8. And that is my standard form answer. Now I'm going to find the equation of a line from the given information and graph the line. The first part is I'm given a slope and a point. So I'm always working at a y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug my 3 in for y. I'm going to plug my negative 3/5 in for m. I'm going to plug my 2 in for x, and I'm solving for b. 3 equals negative 6/5, negative 3/5 times 2 plus b. Now we're going to multiply everything here by 2. Oops, not by 2, excuse me, by the denominator of 5. So now when I multiply everything by 5, I get 15 equals negative 6 plus 5b. We get 21 equals 5b. And my 21 divided by 5 equals b. So my first equation is going to be y equals negative 3/5 x plus 21 over 5. Now, I'm going to multiply everything here by 5 to get us into standard form. Negative 3/5 x plus 21 over 5 leaves us with 5y equals negative 3x plus 21. And my final answer is 3x plus 5y equals 21. Now if you want to check your work, you can put your point in. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 3 is 15, 6 and 15 equals 21. Our next one, we're given 2 points. The only difference here is, and I'll put it up top, we've got to find the slope first. And then we can do the same thing we did on the previous problem. So once again, I'm going to draw my fraction bar and my 2 minus signs in the middle. 2 minus a negative 3, and then it's negative 4 minus a negative 1. And 2 minus a negative 3 is 5. Negative 4 minus a negative 1 is negative 3. So now I have a slope of negative 5/3. And I pick a point. I'm going to use negative 1, negative 3 as my point. So negative 3, and we'll put the y equals mx plus b form down to start with. Alright, negative 3 equals, I put my slope in of negative 5/3. Let's move that negative sign here to the front. So actually I should be written as negative 5/3. There we go. Okay, so negative 5/3 times x. I'm going to put negative 1 in for x plus b. So I'm using negative 1, negative 3. Negative 3 equals 5/3 plus b. After we do negative 5/3 times negative 1, I'm going to multiply all of this by 3. And that way my fraction gets eliminated. So we get negative 9 equals 5 plus 3b. We subtract 5, we get negative 14 equals 3b. And my negative 14 divided by 3 equals b. So now, y equals negative 5/3 times x minus 14/3. And that's the y equals mx plus b form. Now, y equals negative 5/3 x minus 14/3. I'm going to multiply everything by 3 to get rid of my fractions. And we're going to get 3y equals negative 5x minus 14. And when I add x to both sides, my answer is 5x plus 3y equals a negative 14. And that's my answer in standard form. You can check with either point. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. 3 times 2 is 6. And negative 20 and 6 is negative 14. Or 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, negative 5 and negative 9 is negative 14. So it should work out on every single level.